The boardroom smelled like burnt coffee and panic. Harlan Reed slammed his palm on the table, laughing so hard his face turned red. "Lauren, sweetheart, you cannot be serious. Micro-influencers and neighborhood Facebook groups. We're pitching Nexus Tech, not a church bake sale." 20 eyes turned toward me, some smirking, some pretending to check phones. Tyler Voss, the golden boy, leaned back with that lazy grin that always meant he'd already won. My chest tightened, but I kept my voice steady. "The data shows 43% higher engagement and half the burn rate." Harlan cut me off with another bark of laughter. "We're doing the celebrity drop. Bold. Big. That's what wins." My hand tightened around the clicker until the plastic creaked. What the hell just happened to me? My name is Lauren Bennett. And that laugh was the last time anyone would ever underestimate me again. Back at my desk, the fluorescent lights buzzed like angry bees. I stared at the Support Tyler's campaign task list Harlan had just emailed the team. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, rage simmering, but I typed, "Happy to help make it shine." Inside, I opened a hidden folder labeled, "Personal Notes." I wasn't quitting. I wasn't fighting. I was becoming the quiet architect of their downfall. Overhearing Harlan in the hallway telling the CEO I was good but not visionary made my blood run cold. He wasn't just ignoring me, he was burying me. I scrolled through old slides, client feedback, and test metrics, mentally planning the moves that would one day make the company realize exactly who had been right all along. Every laugh he had at me would be a brick in the wall I was quietly building. The elevator doors closed. Harlan stood beside me, humming as though nothing had happened. "You took that well today, kiddo. Team player." I forced the practiced smile in the mirror. "Always." He clapped my shoulder like a proud dad. The doors opened on the lobby and I walked out alone, pulse hammering. That night I stayed until 1 a.m., refining my original deck. New charts, fresh testimonials, bulletproof numbers. No one would see it yet. Tyler's first celebrity Instagram post dropped the next morning and already looked forced. I saved the screenshot. The clock had started ticking. Patience was the weapon. Observation the shield. Every misstep by them would feed the evidence I was gathering. Client feedback meeting. Nexus Tech's CMO frowned at Tyler's mood board. "The celebrity feels generic." Harlan laughed it off again. "They just don't get the vision yet." I sat in the back row, silent, taking notes like the perfect support player. Inside, I was rewriting my strategy with the exact objections they'd just raised. Later, in the copy room, junior designer Mia whispered, "Your community idea would have crushed that." I only nodded. That tiny alliance was the first brick in my wall. Every suggestion I refined, every mistake I documented, became part of a map for the day they would need me the most. The room was filled with arrogance, but I was quietly stockpiling proof. Mortgage statement on my kitchen counter. $3,412 due. My ex's last text still glowed on my phone. "Hope the promotion works out." I deleted it. At 2 a.m., I added 3 new case studies from brands that succeeded with quiet strategy over flash. The numbers were undeniable. Harlan could laugh all he wanted. My plan was about to speak louder than his ego ever could. Every late night, every refined metric, every hidden slide became ammunition. I wasn't just fighting for respect. I was fighting for survival, for proof that merit should outweigh bravado. The quiet hum of the office after hours became my battlefield. Tyler's celebrity dropped a tone-deaf tweet about the product. Comments exploded, half brutal, half mocking. Harlan stormed into the bullpen yelling at everyone but Tyler. I volunteered to help smooth the messaging. While the team scrambled, I quietly pulled real-time engagement data showing my micro-community angles trending organically in 3 test cities. No one noticed me smiling at my screen. The first real crack had appeared. Patience, observation, subtlety. My strategy was unfolding perfectly. While everyone reacted in panic, I had already seen the path forward. The underestimation was my ally. Harlan called me into his office. "Lauren, I need you to babysit Tyler's mess." You're detail-oriented. I leaned forward, eyes wide with fake gratitude. Anything for the team. He never saw the folder on my laptop labeled Evidence, growing thicker by the day. Screenshots, emails, client notes, every arrogant decision documented in real time. Every dismissal, every laugh, every misstep was now a bullet point in a dossier I would deploy at the exact moment it mattered. Harlan had no idea the game had already changed. Mia slipped me a flash drive in the parking garage. Old emails. Harlan killed 2 of your ideas last year and gave them to Tyler. I didn't open it until I was home with the doors locked. The betrayal tasted metallic. I added every email to the folder, dated, time-stamped, and cross-referenced. The long game had gained ammunition. Every stolen idea, every overlooked success, every moment of laughter against me became part of a pattern. It wasn't personal, it was systematic. And now the system was mine to exploit. Nexus Tech pulled their first big payment. Cash flow panic rippled through the office. Harlan's voice cracked during the all-hands. We're still on track. I raised my hand calmly. I have some backup community testing we could layer in if needed. He waved me off like a gnat. That night, I stayed late again, perfecting the exact rescue plan they would beg for in 6 weeks. Every refusal, every misjudgment, every dismissal became part of the timeline of their own undoing. By staying quiet, I gained insight. By documenting, I gained power. Tyler's celebrity demanded more money mid-campaign. Harlan approved it without a meeting. I printed the budget overrun report and slipped it under the CEO's door anonymously. Typed, no prints. 2 days later, the CEO started asking questions. Harlan's face when he got called upstairs was the first time I tasted real satisfaction. The chaos of their poor decisions was now visible to those who actually mattered. Each small victory was invisible to the office, but monumental in the grand scheme. My dad's hospital bill arrived. I stared at it for 10 full minutes, then went back to my hidden deck and made it bulletproof. This wasn't just about work anymore. This was about never being laughed at again while my life hung by a thread. I refined charts, tested engagement scenarios, and updated forecasts. Every spreadsheet and metric became a shield against incompetence. It wasn't revenge. It was survival, preparation, and finally undeniable evidence. The client called an emergency Zoom. Their CEO looked exhausted. Your big splash is drowning us in bad press. Harlan tried charm. Failed. I sat mute on camera, heart racing, knowing my finished deck was 1 click away. But it wasn't time yet. Patience is a weapon. My mind replayed months of documentation. My every action synchronized to the moment the evidence would be undeniable. Waiting, observing, refining. The quiet patience of an unstoppable force. Harlan cornered me at happy hour. Breath smelling like whiskey. Kid, I always believed in you. Don't make me regret it. I clinked my glass against his, smile never wavering. You won't. Inside I was thinking you already did. Every comment, every laugh, every dismissive word had been stored. Every observation catalogued. I was no longer just part of the background. I was the architect of the next move. Silent but unstoppable. Tyler's celebrity got caught in a scandal. The internet turned on the campaign overnight. Harlan's office door stayed closed for 3 straight days. I used the silence to run one final test of my strategy in a small Midwest market. Results came back 4.7 times ROI. I saved the PDF like it was oxygen. Every small market insight, every overlooked reaction became the final proof. The dominoes were lined, and I only needed to nudge the first one. The board called an emergency session. Harlan presented first, sweating, stumbling over numbers that no longer added up. I volunteered to present supplemental ideas. He shut me down instantly. But the CEO's eyes lingered on me a second too long. The tide had shifted. All my preparation, all the small evidence, had brought us to this exact moment. Timing mattered. Execution mattered. And finally patience paid. Mia texted at midnight. Harlan just told the CEO your original idea was never viable. He's rewriting history. I stared at the ceiling, then opened the evidence folder and attached every contradicting email. Still not yet. But the noose was tightening. Every falsified claim, every stolen credit, every arrogance-fueled misstep became proof. I waited, knowing that when it mattered, the timing would be perfect. Client officially threatened to walk. Stock price dip. The entire office felt like a funeral. Harlan paced the halls yelling at interns. I sat at my desk, calm as still water, finalizing the deck titled simply, "What We Should Have Done." The title felt like poetry. Each slide, each metric, each note was precise, unarguable, and timed. I wasn't gloating yet. I was preparing for the moment they couldn't ignore. I opened an old shared drive archive and found something I wasn't supposed to see. Harlan had taken my very first campaign idea 2 years ago, presented it as Tyler's, and pocketed the bonus. The proof was right there in version history. My original comments deleted, his name swapped in. My hands didn't shake. They moved faster. The evidence wasn't just financial, it was pattern recognition. He had underestimated me for too long, and now the blueprint of his arrogance was mine. Mia confessed in the stairwell. He's done this to 3 women before you. Always the same laugh, same golden boy. I hugged her once, then added every name and date she gave me to the folder. The pattern was undeniable. Harlan's empire was built on stolen credit and crushed dreams. Every small injustice had been catalogued, dated, and time-stamped. I had become the quiet historian of his failures, and the board would see the story unfold in full clarity. The CEO called me directly. First time ever. "Lauren, walk me through what you would have done differently." I spoke for 12 calm minutes, no notes. He didn't say thank you. He just said, "Prepare the full deck. Board wants options by Friday." Harlan's face when he found out I'd been summoned. Priceless. Timing, evidence, calm delivery. Every component of my strategy aligned. The tides were turning. My silence and patience had created influence that was finally undeniable. Harlan tried one last power move, called me into his office and offered me a senior strategist title if I publicly backed his revised plan. I looked him dead in the eye and said, "I'll think about it." Then I walked out and attached that conversation recording, phone in pocket the whole time, to the evidence file. Every bluff, every manipulation, every attempt to control the narrative was now documented. The momentum I had built could no longer be stopped. Nexus Tech officially fired us. The entire company went silent. Harlan's voice cracked over the intercom. "We'll bounce back." No one believed him anymore. I hit send on the full deck to the entire board with one line. "Here is the strategy that still can save the account. Every misstep, every arrogance-fueled error, every underestimation culminated here. The quiet power I had built had become undeniable. No theatrics, no speeches, just results and evidence." Board meeting. Harlan presented first, sweating, stumbling over numbers that no longer added up. When he finished, the room was graveyard quiet. Then the CEO turned to me. "Lauren." I stood up, opened my deck, and watched every face change in real time. My strategy, my documentation, my patience, all revealed. Every skeptical glance, every dismissive laugh from months past now met clarity. Harlan had no words. Timing, preparation, patience. The combination was unstoppable. I didn't gloat. I showed the data, the tests, the community results, the exact ROI projections. Halfway through, the Nexus Tech CMO, who had secretly joined the call, interrupted. "This is exactly what we needed. We're back in if she leads it." Harlan's mouth opened, closed, opened again. No sound came out. The board voted 9-0 to kill his campaign and greenlight mine. Evidence and preparation had triumphed over arrogance and shortcuts. The shift was complete. I had become the undeniable authority without a single dramatic outburst. Just strategy executed flawlessly. 3 weeks later, Nexus Tech's new campaign launched to record numbers. Harlan was let go for strategic differences. The same afternoon, I stood in the same boardroom where he had once laughed at me, now offered the director title and a corner office. I smiled, thanked them, and politely declined. That night I packed my desk, drove home, and opened my laptop to a blank document titled, My Own Agency, Year 1. I finally understood. The best revenge isn't making them lose. It's becoming so unstoppable that they no longer matter. And I was just getting started.